So this map was a lot more one-sided again because I do think that Lunatic is just infinitely better on assault maps. But when I made my pred for Lunatic to win the series, I think my biggest reasoning, I mean, you could definitely argue that either team could have won this series. But I think my reasoning as to why I picked Lunatic to win was because I felt like Runaway is way too emotional and they don't seem confident sometimes. Like, they win their fights and stuff, and at the end you can just tell that like they're kind of shocked almost. Like, they're like, yeah, we did it, like as if they weren't really expecting it in a way. And I find that kind of off-putting as a, like, just from like a competitive standpoint. Like, if it requires that much mental fortitude for you guys to get through maps and stuff, and like they're getting that emotional about the wins, I think that there's like a little bit of a problem there in terms of longevity, because how long can you really keep that up if you're a runner? But, and like, I thought last map when I watched the, what was it, the open mic, you could tell that Kaiser was getting tilted by like stuff that wasn't his fault. And the longer the series goes, the worse that gets. So I definitely think that in like the endurance for both teams, or the longevity of the match in general, just favored Lunatic in general. And they really handled that fight very well. They collapsed on that door. They make up for their lack of Reinhardt by just really good timing. Like, they didn't even need the Reinhardt there. They just pinched. They waited, pinched. But the difference maker, I think, too, is the fact that Lunatic has been here before. They've played on the big stages. They made it to the finals twice. No, it's hard, you know, like what they've done is hard. They lost to IEM in the finals, they lost season 1 in the finals, now they come back here and they're like, all right, this is our time. As opposed to Runaway, who's kind of just like, okay, we're here, now what? And I do feel like Lunatic had the advantage also because, I mean, this is a different thing. Really weird sound barrier, but I think he got on like 5 people, so it's okay. Of course, not the Earth Shatter nonetheless. But back to what I was saying. I think that there was a huge benefit to that open, not the mic, that like American Idol thing that they did at halftime, because losing 2 CP is like really demoralizing. I mean, anyone that's played ranked knows that. Like, when you lose a 2 CP map and it takes 10 minutes and you just lose, it's like super mentality ruining. Eska eats that fire strike. But I think the pause let them reset. But I think the turning point on this map was like, I think that this map was the turning point because it was 2 CP. Like, Runaway gets this point pretty decently quick. It wasn't super quick. It took them, what, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes? I guess it's more than you really want. Haxel has Graviton now. Again, they're running a different comp. They're not running their Genji. They don't have the best follow-up for a Graviton with this composition. Lunatic is back on their bread and butter. Eska gets to play Mei because it's Hanamura, which I think just benefits Lunatic immensely, because Eska's Mei is way better than Eska's Tracer, at least as far as I've seen thus far in this series anyway. So they don't even expect the Mei. So I'm kind of surprised they push up here. I think that this is another one of those, like, you're making small mistakes because it's the big stage. I don't even know that they knew that he was on Mei, because I think if they had known, they wouldn't have gone that way. Or at least not in the order that they did, or they would have tried to have baited the wall. And they don't. But now you're playing against this Mei. Look how deep he is. Just making all this space. And like, this is actually so much value. I didn't feel like he was playing poorly on Tracer super hard. His pulse bombs were awful, but for him to open up that fight right there is huge. It's already at 60%. But still, like, Haxel's gonna pop this Graviton. Unless Kaiser's there to swing, they're not gonna do anything.
Isolate members of the enemy team and punish their approaches. Runaway's gonna have to be very clean on how they move into.
Well, I'm sure the break was deliberate. I just think it helped the wrong team if it was to like prevent the 4-0. But if you're Runaway right here, you have nothing. You need to speed boost in, try to get a pick. I don't even know why Toby pops his ult here. They can just go in with Nano Blade, but I guess they only pop Sound Barrier, so it's fine. It was just a different approach, I guess, to what they could have done. Solo Sound Barrier is completely worth it. Cox popped ult, Stitch popped ult, Haxel Graviton somewhere. I don't even know what happened here, but that was an awful fight for Runaway. And this is where the tilt starts coming in, honestly. Like, this is where the 2CP tilt becomes real. Diva eats the homing. Ult. Where's the wall? He tried. I'll give it to him. Sound barrier came out, they engaged with it. I guess it forced out a bad graviton. I don't know what happened. I don't even know where the nano boost went. Hard to see. Paying super much attention to sounds right now. But Axel's grab got eaten. That's unfortunate. That's like super unfortunate. But they didn't have any follow up for it anyway. So it's, I mean, whatever. Like I actually don't think it was gonna work. But this is where the tilt starts. The tilt starts when you lose that push. And now they're still not sure how they want to push against this Mei. I like that wall. The wall just means nobody can pinch. Eska sits on this. I'm surprised Eska sits on this actually for so long. The Blizzard, but who are you killed? This fight's already over. 3K from who are you is huge.
You can see Runaway adapt by Kaiser. They lose the fight go up, but they do get multiple.
Look at Eska and Toby, man. They don't care at all. They're just like super far out. Eska still has Blizzard. Toby still has sound. Toby has another sound barrier. That's a really fast sound barrier. I'm not gonna lie. That was one fight, and they got sound barrier already. They're doing a very good job on Lunatic of cycling that. But now Runaway's in an awful position. They have nothing. Like, what are you gonna do right now? You're gonna nano boost a Dragon Blade, and then you're gonna hope that your Tracer and your Winston get kills. They don't have a Shatter, or they do have Shatter rather, I guess. Do they just? Yeah, they don't have Graviton anymore. I keep getting confused in the team composition. Because I see Winston and I expect it to be Kaiser, but it was Bumper. My brain turns off. Good kill on Jaehong, but Runner sound barrier comes out anyway. Or Toby, rather. My god. I'm so used to red being defense that sometimes I literally just brain fart. This is really good for Runaway though, like this fight in particular, because they did bait out so much from the Lunatic. They popped the sound barrier, they popped the primal, they popped the Blizzard. So now Runaway like kind of has control of the map, but again their composition is not super good at what it wants to do. I think it's the map though. They're abusing Cox so hard right now. But if you're Lunatic right now, you're confident. Bumper comes in to save him, pops primal. They could have left Jaehong there, and it would have been better than killing him, honestly. I didn't even know that happened. And they go in without Cox. I question the intelligence of that move. Why did they do that? I don't know. I'm like catching up now. Why? First of all, why wouldn't you just leave him there? I feel like they could have definitely left Jaehong on the other side of the map and just played with him on the other side of the map, killed him really late, and then nano boosted in with their entire team. But now they're, I mean, Kaiser has to come up huge right now, but massive play from Who Are You. That's actually game winning. So he could shield Haksal because he was their last shot. The Nano Blade, Dragon Blade, or the Nano Blade combo. Now they're super forced to go main, and that wall, that's a good wall. Force everyone to low ground. Nano boost gets used now onto Stitch. Eska just kind of plays with him, pops out the Blizzard. Easy game, easy life. Now they're in a good spot. Pulse Bomb misses on Miro. Miro pops Primal anyway. This fight should be over. There we go. Nice try. If he gotten that kill, I would have been pretty hyped. I mean, it doesn't matter though. Axel's getting kills, but the spawns are going to come in for Lunatic High at the end of the day. Zumba still has his self-destruct. And they just got off the point. I don't know. Big individual plays from Who Are You there to like cancel that Nano Blade. That was kind of the only fight I think that arguably Runaway should have won or could have won. And that kill on that kill on Axel was momentum shifting, and that's like that's actually where the tilt starts. Like the tilt starts right there when you push Hanamura second point for 10 minutes and you don't win. And like now the morale is like, this is like where the morale hits the bottom. But I think it was exactly the same between Volskaya and Route 66.
Control map tiebreaker, which will be on Lijiang Tower. The
pressure's on for both of these teams in a big, big way.
Lunatic looking like they finally want to play some Zenyatta today. A hero that they picked a lot over the course of the playoffs, but we haven't really seen much play tonight from Jaehong, but he has been excellent, and that goes back to Lunatic High's excellence at target selection and target calling and eliminating the person with the Orb of Discord quickly.
I'm glad we're getting to see this dive comp from Lunatic High.
Runaway back on Haksal with the Zarya. You know, earlier today we saw Bumper and Haksal swap those roles. Haksal coming out on the Roadhog and Bumper on the Zarya. Like
triple tank Tracer defense. It's not bad on this map anyway. It relies on Bumper hitting hooks though. Because Haksal realistically shouldn't get a Graviton for the first fight. If Bumper misses a hook, this can snowball 100% in Lunatic High's favor. Which I guess is why you'd rather normally run 76 instead of Tracer, just for more consistent damage. Because, I mean, it's just not an easy, it's just a hard comp to execute. Eska gets in for free, Miro gets in for free, 2 people in through the window. Who are you up top? Bullying Stitch. Needs a Harmony Orb now. And their dive is so good actually. Focus fire Bumper down, and now this fight should be in their favor. Although Stitch kills Miro, I think, yeah, Sleep Dart comes out. They kind of overcommit here for the kill on that Ana, but this fight should be over now. But Runaway did, they gave up a tick. I don't know how big of a deal it is. I think Eska's I think Eska and Toby are making a mistake, but they don't die. And they force out this nano boost, so it's not the worst. And Toby does kill Cox, so that's really big. As long as Eska doesn't die here, if Eska dies here, it's really bad, but okay, never mind, it's bad. Because now Runner or Cox should maybe have enough time to get back before the spawn from Eska. I'm not sure about the walking speed and difference, but that was unfortunate. But again, it's weird because all that has to happen really is Lunatic High just needs like one really good kill. Good sound barrier. And then Zumba gets that free kill on Bumper. That's actually huge. So that just opens up the door for them to win this fight now. Once you lose one person, especially the Roadhog, who's most of your damage, the fight just kind of does not go your way. So now Lunatic High has the momentum. Runaway can no longer play for the win, which is also pretty mentally devastating in the grand scheme of a best of 7. Like, you just pushed for 10 minutes, and then now you have 6 minutes to draw out a tie, so you can potentially win in overtime on the control map, which is also not like ideal mentally. And this is a crazy, I like this push too from Lunatic High. It's unique because a lot of teams don't do it, but it has a lot to do with the fact that they're not running the Reinhardt, and they're really good at abusing the speed boost. Jaehong just casually makes that jump over, and now they all just come in from the side. And again, they don't have good follow-up for this Graviton, but I think Haksal pops it here prematurely, not knowing that Stitch doesn't even have his ult, which is a huge problem because the sound barrier does come out from Toby, and then the nano, like the Transcendence comes out, and now they're just gonna get snowballed on. Kaiser actually dies with Shatter and doesn't even get it off. But if they had waited until like now to pop that grab instead of Haksal diving headfirst into 6 players, which is pretty game losing. Miro's so good, man. Miro just casually blocking an Earthshatter with Winston Bubble, and then his shield gets double value because it actually eats the Pulse Bomb from Stitch. They got snowballed on really hard. But Haksal definitely blew it there, and I don't know why he went so aggressive with that grab, especially since they didn't have Tracer. But this is where, like, what's the word? It's where the tilt just starts taking over. Like, that's a demoralizing loss on Hanamura. Like, the way in which they lost Hanamura, I think, was upsetting.